All right, so if you want to just like briefly introduce yourself, I guess.
Hi, my name is Austin. I'm an alumni from Texas Tech. I graduated from Rawls College of Business Supply Chain Management program in May 2021. Currently, I'm a project manager at Meta. Um, that's my background, and what I do is my job is to do the logistics for generalist engineers and specialist engineer candidate review sessions. So inevitably, the sessions and hiring process at Meta is very rigorous. It takes like, I don't know, up to a month. I'm the last step. I'm CR. I'm not a recruiter. I'm not reaching out recruiting. I don't do any of that. I'm the man that runs the program for hiring generalists and specialist engineers. We're at such a high volume right now that I have 300 sessions. Oh no, excuse me, 300 packets coming through a week. A packet is someone that's trying to get hired at Meta. So inevitably that requires me to have 40 sessions a week right now. I need 2 quorum members. Quorum consists of director or higher engineers at Meta. So I'm talking to high up engineers and VPs. And then that also requires a facilitator and a coordinator. So now we need 4 people for 40 sessions. So that's like, where are we at right there? We're around 300 people a week and just scheduling. So you can imagine like the declines that come in, all that. And we have a quota. I need to get like, I want to have 80 engineers hired a week. And I'm not doing this.
That's a lot.
I'm leading the program and having this happen. So like, I'm not going out and like talking to recruiters. On last step, 2 people are going to look at your packet for literally under 5 minutes and say yes or no. And these people are vice president of Meta, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Mm-hmm. So I'm inevitably dealing with super high up individuals that schedules are really volatile. So I need those 6 sessions to run a day, right? For generalist suite, candidate review. So inevitably, so many things can happen in one day that they can decline. For example, this week, 2 days ago, I had a decline come in because one of my quorum members got pulled into a mandatory meeting with Mark Zuckerberg. That's on the level that I'm dealing with now. So like a lot of people don't understand my job, I think. I came from the hardcore logistics background doing like trucking. So I inevitably think that gave me the skills to do what I do now. But instead of dealing with truck drivers, I just deal with higher up engineers, and I'm running a program. I'm doing the logistics for a program. I run 3 of them actually right now. I just took on a third. Generalist suite, CR, candidate review, specialist suite. So generalist engineers, specialist engineers. And now I just took on machine learning as well. So we're just going crazy over here. We're in peak.
So you're moving people, not stuff.
Exactly. And I need these people in these sessions. Like I have to have them in there. If I cancel it, that puts me behind, right? I need to review 300 people's packets a week, not me, but all the people, my 2 quorum facilitator and coordinator for each session. We have 7 of those a day. Well, we have 6 of gen, 1 of spec. It doesn't matter. We have a lot of them. Yeah. And it just gets to a point. Like right now we have to like look at having more sessions, doubling it up. And how do you do that? You need to look at
a lot of data.
Yeah, 150 people that are high up at Meta, look through their schedules, talk to their admins. I mean, I have to make relationships in Israel, London. And people in the Pacific time, East Coast, Central, Mountain time. I know every time zone above the moon right now. So, and you need to be able to talk to people too, right? Like if I'm going to go talk to someone in London, when I do dates, they do it different. They put like the day in front of
the month. Yeah,
exactly. And so and then you just need to know the time zones and like PT to EST. I do that so much because we have so many people in California and New York City. So inevitably it gets crazy, and like there's so many things we can be doing at every time. It's like never a downtime. I mean, our team has gone crazy. I mean, these programs get built out pretty quick. Inevitably, I'm in a role to where I'm building out spec suite. I mean, my gen suite's at 30 sessions a week. Spec suite, I'm at 6. I am now taking over that program. It's in my name. So I'm trying to get it up to this level too. And we're having record numbers this year for hiring. So I'm just a program manager. That's what my title is. And I just run programs, but inevitably it's for hiring the last session. And it just yes or no. The quorum, read it. Yeah, and that like I think is good to let students know when they're looking at your packet, or that's what they do. They don't really take that long to look at it. So you need to make sure your resume is just, to a T. It's easy to read because they're not taking that long to look at it. They're taking 10 minutes. On to the next. They have 10. I mean, if you're applying to go to a really big company and they have lots of people applying, I mean, I've seen the process go for engineers that are getting paid over $500,000 a year in California pay. and I see what they go through and what their background is, and what their resumes look like, and just how it is. And I've listened to what the quorum say, these men that have, or and women that have been in this industry for 20 years. I mean, we have people that I deal with that like literally took Facebook off the ground like in 2009 and
Yeah,
stuff.
there's
Like,
lot-
they've done everything. So it's just like a lot of people, and that's the people that are going to be reviewing your stuff when you're looking at these high level positions, especially for engineering or really any role. But I think that explains pretty well what I do with my job.
Yeah, for real. No, thank you. That was really in depth. Um, so like, what's like your favorite thing or like that you love about your job? Like, obviously, it's a lot and there's a lot of data and stuff to go through.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I love my ability to do what I feel that's best for the program. I have free, like, I can do what I need to do and what I think is best for my program at Meta. I work for a larger company. I work for DHL. It's not like that. I'm very independent, and my choices inevitably reflect my program. So I just like that I can make my program how I want to make my program, do what I see fits. You know, it's up to me what time I want to do these sessions at. It's up to me who I want in them and how to go about it better and stuff like that, and how to fix it. I mean, when you have this many people declining, well, what can we do to make this better? It's a lot of backing. I mean, getting these people on, doing what their admin's doing with them, it takes a while. It's a lot of planning. But what I say I love about my job is like, it's satisfying. I mean, we haven't canceled a session in 2 months, and I can't tell you that's ever been easy. I mean, yesterday when you wanted to talk to me, that's why I couldn't talk to you, because I'm still working. Even though I get off at 5, I don't have to. I'm not going to put that on my other people. You know what I'm saying? And they're all on a specific time. It's like at 3:00 in PT. So that's 6:00 my time. So got to figure that out to make sure that runs right, because inevitably all this reflects on my name, right? Every single one of these. Granted, they're not going to come at me and be like, well, why didn't this run? Well, they will. And I have data say, well, this person declined for a Mark Zuckerberg meeting, literally. Or something like that. And I think that's one thing good to tell people is like, when you're at your job, tell them why you can't do something. Don't just say, I can't do it. You got to give them a reason why.
Yeah.
I learned that really hard working at DHL, like just as my first job, but it prepared me for Meta to where like, you just need to have all your ducks in a row. But what I love in my job is the independency.
What happened and why.
Exactly. And you need to keep a track of everything. If people give you thanks, keep that. When high up people give me thanks, I keep that. Because, you know, inevitably anything comes down like, okay, well, this person's saying I'm doing this, yada, yada. Keep everything documented, archive emails, don't delete them, like stuff like that. Just because you never know when you're gonna have to cover yourself and say what you're doing, especially you get in a project management role where you're running a program and everything reflects on you. Inevitably, it's not always your fault. But you gotta show why it's not. Don't for sure. But, and then also I love working for Meta. I don't think there's any other job in America, very few, that gives you the work-life balance we have. I mean, we get 6 just Meta holidays, like just random ones. We get 3 weeks off for Christmas. We get like, man, we get a lot. We get like a lot of holiday breaks, a week off for Thanksgiving. And like, I worked at a company where like, you literally didn't even get Christmas Eve off. So like having things like
Facebook, or I guess Meta now, has had really nice employee benefits.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. 401k is awesome. Like anything it's just, I mean, I can live where I want to live. That's a big thing for me where I live currently right now. There's no opportunity here besides what I came up here to do, the automotive logistics, I think, unless you want to get into mortgage brokering. But for me, it gives me the opportunity to live here, live in Miami. If I want to go live and go skiing or whatever, I have that opportunity. And the benefits and the pay are unmatched. I don't think you can get any better at the level I'm at, being so young, to get into it. Like, it's awesome. I honestly couldn't be more happy with it. Like, for sure. Like, it's awesome. Like having your weekends, everything, bro. Starting at 9:00. I mean, at DHL, you start at 7 and you go to like 7, literally.
Yeah.
So
I guess we kind of touched on like how you got your position now. But like during tech, like what was the class that you took that like, do you think anything specifically at tech prepared you for where you are now, or was it more just kind of like you learned on the job?
I definitely think all the supply chain roles for sure, programming, intro to supply chain, BPI, business process improvement, that course definitely helped. At that time, I was with Dr. Rutner, so it was definitely great. Inventory management with Dr. Taylor. I couldn't say anything higher about Dr. Taylor. Great. I mean, that class, inventory management, inevitably you're learning about hardcore inventory, but you can look at it the same way. It's a data class. Okay, they're people. It doesn't matter what it is. It's the same thing if you really look
Yeah.
at it. The capstone
Numbers,
helped me a
numbers.
lot. I like transportation distribution. That one, even though I'm not in that anymore, just shows you how everything goes, how hard it is, and why you pay the prices you do today. Like it takes so long to get it from the boat to the truck to here.
Hmm.
And like, I mean, I worked in like for me to get to where I was, I mean, I would recommend anyone in the supply chain program get an internship at a freight brokerage. I feel like find it's easiest, and you can do them online. A lot of them as being a track and tracer. You're not selling freight. You're just literally tracking and tracing loads, just looking where they're at, putting up endpoints, data, and looking at the system. That inevitably got me to where I could get to DHL. And once I got to DHL, that inevitably got me to where I can get to Meta. And now I feel like I'm at a level where I can really go work at Google. I can work at Netflix, Apple. That's where people that leave Meta go work. So I got into the tech industry kind of different than most people I feel like would have got into it. But I'm happy the way I got into it. And there's like the room to grow in Meta is like, it's unreal. Like I could do anything. I could change roles. I mean, just in my program alone, there's so much opportunity for growth. So there's a lot of benefits just for staying in Meta for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. So speaking of growth, in the next 5 years, like what are your goals of your career, or where do you think you could be in 5 years?
In 5 years, I would definitely like to be a program lead. That inevitably is like my manager's manager's manager. So like high up director, highest on our team. That's definitely where I would see myself being in 5 years. If not in my role or in a different role than I'm in now, more so training, going out and getting quorums, stuff like that, opposed to doing the hardcore logistics of it. That's where I see myself more doing the back end and like predictions and data,
Yeah.
which we definitely have that. And that's like moving up the ladder in our system and our program. But there's a lot of things, man. But I definitely, I'm in my program. I love to be a program lead. I feel like that's like would be awesome for sure.
No, that's awesome. Especially to have that growth in Meta that you've been talking about.
For sure.
All right. Well, hey, I just want to say thank you, especially for taking the time to be here. I know it's very busy and you're dealing with people all over the world, so you're working at all different times.
For sure.
All right.
Thanks for meeting with me, Carter. Catch you later.